A work incident a few months ago caused my executive dysfunction to get so bad that I'm exhausted the whole day, and my husband has started yelling at me for not taking care of things like chores and dinner while he was at work, but he doesn't care about my struggles at all. I, 32F, have been married to my husband, 36M, for 6 years. It's my first serious relationship. I love him, he's funny, charming and intelligent and we share a lot, but he has always been a little hot-headed. Some context first. A few months ago, a situation at work went badly and I fell into the burnout. I'm autistic, and the burnout has made my executive dysfunction much worse. I've been on sick leave ever since. I have very little energy. Even basic things leave me exhausted. I sleep a lot, socialize very little, skip meals. I know it's bad, but I am doing my best. My husband has been very frustrated that I'm not respecting his needs. We don't have intercourse, I don't cook every day, and the house isn't as tidy as he'd like. Multiple times, I didn't take care of things while he was at work, so he yelled at me. Others, I made him ignore me for hours. I tried to explain that I was struggling too much, and he replied that I was using my situation and exaggerating my symptoms for attention. I tried to push myself to meet his needs and keep up with the house, but every time I quickly got too tired and had to stop. I tried to tell him but said he didn't want to hear it because he has enough on his plate. I never know if I am going to make him angry. I have been crying almost every day and I don't know if it's the burnout or if it's because I can't be there for him. I felt like it would be better for both of us to take a break. He refused and said THDT as his wife, it was my legal duty to be there in sickness and in health. 2 weeks ago, I finally told him I wanted a divorce. He had a meltdown and he yelled for hours, saying I was just confused because of my mental health. He apologized later and said I shouldn't act irrational like that. I hesitated for a few days and I told him I still wanted to leave. AMD, he had another meltdown. Yesterday, I woke up and went downstairs to find my husband, his parents, and my parents, all waiting for me. They said they were extremely worried, that they never get news except from my husband. He reported to them he was scared for me because I was isolating and harming myself. They told me it was okay to need help. That I needed stability. They said they were all there for me no matter what. I cried the entire time. I felt cornered, humiliated, and defensive. I felt like that was not normal. But now I don't know what to think. After they left, he said he contacted my GP and psychologist to let them know how bad it is, and booked an appointment with a psychiatrist on my behalf. He said they all care about me and want to help me be myself again. Part of me still wants to leave, but another part of me wonders if they're right. I still love him? And I'm definitely not at my most stable right now, I am in the fog. To be honest, I feel really selfish and guilty about all of this. I am completely overwhelmed. Could you guys give me an outside perspective on this? Thanks a lot. Commenter. I agree with everyone saying to go to a therapist before making any decisions. As someone currently in the fog and trying to crawl out of it, I would suggest talking to a doctor before making any big decisions. I struggle with executive dysfunction and other things very similar to you. I get it. Although, the way your husband went about it was messed up and should be brought up in your sessions and fully discussed with your therapist and your feelings on leaving him. If you feel you should leave him during therapy, then do what is best for you. As someone else said, you could separate while seeking help as a way to get yourself better and then make your decisions from there. It's ultimately up to you and what is best for you. I do hope you get the help you need and things will start getting better for you. Edit. Thanks everyone, so many replies, I am grateful. I can't answer everyone right now, but I can give a few thoughts and infos. I see my GP every 2 weeks. I was on Cipralex but we had to stop because of side effects. Now we are trying mirtazapine. I had already seen a therapist before a few years ago and my husband called her and my GP yesterday to tell them I needed help before booking the appointment with a psychiatrist he found. I'll go to the appointments and give them my perspective. I have an okay relationship with my parents, they see me as fragile and don't always understand the autism. I think I will try to talk with Tecm about what was going on and ask if I can stay with them temporarily. And get better before deciding on the divorce. I'll rest for now, this is a lot to take in. Thanks everyone. Update 1. I talked to my parents not long after the intervention to explain my perspective to them. They listened and said they were concerned but asked me to wait and make sure I was not being oversensitive and that all marriages had ups and downs. I'm seeing my past psychologist and my GP while waiting for the appointment with a psychiatrist my husband booked for me. My therapist recommended me to get away, even temporarily, or to set very firm boundaries. I annoyed my husband with that a few times and he got angry and said I was being dramatic or that my therapist was not a marriage counselor and had no say. I contacted my parents and asked if I could come and stay for a few weeks. They asked if my husband agreed and I said he didn't know and they said maybe I should talk with him first. Not long after my husband called me and asked to stay home, and he came back and grabbed me and screamed and yelled, said I made him furious, disappointed and very worried. He asked me how I could do that to him and why I went behind his back. And it was time I stopped playing the victim and that he did not recognize me anymore. That everyone was worried about my state. He told me he thought we trusted each other and I needed to improve before he had to take measures to help me. I just felt sorry about what I did and for being too emotional again. I think I had an autistic meltdown, but I am not sure. I don't remember everything. I apologized for my behavior and I tried to initiate with him, but he pushed me away. I think he's okay now, but I know he's still hurt. I am feeling guilty, horrible and anxious. I can't stop pathetically crying. I don't know how to fix myself. I wish that appointment was sooner. How do I stop hurting him? Commenter. Ask your husband first is an incredibly asinine response that tells me your parents think your husband owns you and you do not have individual rights. Acting like they no longer have the responsibility or desire to protect and shelter you as their daughter now that you are married. Men like that escalate. Today it's grabbing you, tomorrow it'll be shaking you, next pushing you, and sooner or later it will be hitting. Update 2. 1 month later. He got better. He sincerely apologized and I tried to fix my state the best I could. We agreed some ground rules and minimum things I should do every day to keep intimacy alive. We agreed I could keep seeing my therapist, but I have to focus only on my issues. But it's hard because she keeps bringing my husband up. I've also had the first appointment with a psychiatrist, no assessment yet. I want answers. There were a few days where I made enough efforts and we had sweet and joyful moments together again, but I still anger my husband often. I think he's losing patience and I feel terrible every day and I want it to stop. I think about leaving all the time instead working it through. I had an episode where apparently I passed out. And he took care of me. He was sweet. I know he informed our parents and friends and they contacted me to say they were there for us. We had a lot of heartfelt discussions about what happened. He hugged me and kissed me and said he loved me. And broke at tears because I scared him. And he needed to be reassured, so we agreed on checking on each other regularly throughout the day until we find a more permanent solution. But now I have panic attacks and I'm scared to tell him. Update 3. I left. I can't talk yet. I am exhausted but safe. Update 4. So he found out about the panic attacks. He had the worst anger outburst he ever had. He lost control, and I thought I wouldn't. I heard him during I had more panic attacks. He was horrified and later said it was clear I was too unstable and that we would look into committing me. It felt wrong, but I kept deteriorating, and at some point I remember vividly thinking about all the things my therapist and the psychiatrist and people on Reddit said, and I recall getting physically sick and throwing up, and I panicked and got help. I can't say what and how, but it was insanely hard and stressful. I changed my mind and wanted to give up, multiple times. But I pushed. It took me all I had left and I had to follow instructions like a child, but did it. I didn't tell anyone. I have frequent nightmares and I switch between intense emotions, panic attacks, and in feeling disconnected from everything. But still I felt like I was allowed for the first time in years. I am and exhausted from all those changes. The people who helped me are sweet and helpful, but I don't know if I can totally trust them. I feel alone and scared and I miss home. There are days I want to go back. But they don't judge me and they're never mad at me and never scream at me. It's weird, but I still feel horrible for putting my husband through this. I am sorry for what I did. I miss him and I regret not breaking up with him like a normal person. But I also feel bad for ghosting my close ones and not updating them. I hope they can all forgive me someday. And I am sorry for not listening sooner. Commenter. I sincerely hope you're somewhere safe away from him. Nothing in your story the way you described it sounded like more than burnout and depression, until your husband exacerbated your mental health full gaslight movie style. Please stay safe and trust your gut.